And they spent no money getting you to do that, because he wrote a book that helped you understand the basics and then introduced you problems of those basics and then showed you the solution in his own software, right? Hey everybody, welcome to a video where I'll be explaining to you how exactly Clickfunnels as a software company was able to go from being just a simple $0 startup to now using some proper digital marketing tactics, becoming one of the largest tech giants in the digital marketing space in the span of just a couple of years, and sort of revealing to you some of the strategies that they've used in order to launch their company that I've studied and that I've actually used in my personal businesses and have been able to launch very successfully with taking the same strategies that they're using and applying them to myself at a micro scale, right? It's going to be a very valuable video for anybody who runs any sort of an online company, online business, maybe a large, high-dollar software company, or any sort of a information product company. I actually work with many information product sellers. I recently released a video on a breakdown of a $20 million per year information product business that I actually got to see grow from the ground up, because it was the family business. It's what put a roof over my head as a kid. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and break down for you guys really what Russel Brunson engineered in order to launch his company. So for me, I want to introduce to you a simple concept, and it's similar to a sales funnel, because I'm sure you're familiar with a sales funnel if you know what Clickfunnels is, but I call it a indoctrination bubble. It's a lot like a sales funnel, but I teach it in my program called Impact Income, where I teach people how to build a profitable personal brand online and how to monetize it with information products, as I've been able to do at the ripe young age of 18 years old. I was able to drop out of high school, buy my dream BMW, and move into now an Airbnb where I'm just working. That's all I'm doing, and it's a freaking dream. And but that's away from the point. This is the This is the indoctrination bubble, right? And so it has different layers to it. I'm drawing it so small over here because I have more coming over here. So you just have to understand that's why it's really tiny. So we've got a couple layers to this thing. We've got layer number 1, we got layer number 2, and then we have the conversion layer, right? And so what Russell understands is that, you know, with a sales funnel, right, we have these basic lines, we've got different steps that people go through, and eventually they convert at the bottom here, right? But with an indoctrination bubble is more emotionally driven. It taps more into the psychological biases of the nature of man, right? And so at different layers, we have different types of content that meet different types of needs, right? So with a sales funnel, we just have different steps, maybe on web pages, or, you know, an ad to a landing page to a blah, 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 whatever, right? And like that's the sales funnel. And I'll explain the sales funnel that they use right here in a moment. But we first have to understand that, look, Russel Brunson understands something about his traffic, and that's what these dots represent out here, is his traffic. He understands that lots of people see the sort of the gold rush that's happening right now with the online space, right? It really truly is the second gold rush. And so he has positioned himself as a shovel seller in the gold rush, which is what a lot of people are doing. That's what I do personally, is I sell shovels during the second gold rush, right? And I don't just sell crappy shovels. I sell the types of shovels that people will hang up above their fireplaces once they're rich because of all the gold that they were able to mine with it, right? That's my goal. That's my personal, like, sort of proverbial mission statement. But he understands something about this traffic out here. He understands that all of them see that gold rush happening. So what does he do? Well, he releases a book called Expert Secrets, right? Or then there's also a couple others. I forget the names of all of them, but I've read all of them myself, right? And they're really good books. But what that does is it takes some of this traffic, you know, probably a good third of this traffic out here that really knows about the, you know, online boom space, right? And it brings them into this sales bubble layer number 1. Or not sales bubble, sorry, indoctrination bubble. There's a sales bubble and an indoctrination bubble. Two different things that I get mixed up in my own head. They're things that I have taught for a long time that I freaking mix up all the time. And so on the indoctrination layer number 1, what he's essentially done once somebody reads that book, which you probably get his ads all the time, you probably got his ad on this video because it says Clickfunnels on the title, right? He's probably giving away his book for free, like free plus shipping, right? And he breaks even on that. He doesn't make any money on that because the plus shipping is just enough to get you to pay just enough where he doesn't lose any money by showing you that ad. So he knows he has to spend about $2 to get somebody to buy the book, and then the plus shipping is about $2, and that covers, when he says shipping, that means the ad that he frickin' showed you for you to buy the book. So he's breaking even, getting you to see his message, which is his book, and understand what it is that he has to say, and understand his viewpoints, and he's essentially indoctrinated you into his indoctrination bubble layer number 1, which is his understanding of the world and his understanding of the sort of the sales funnel, right, and how digital marketing works. And so now you're on layer number 1, and he's taking these concepts and simplified them down for the total beginner to understand and see the beauty of. So once you're on layer number 1, which is probably where you're at right now if you're watching this video, and I'm probably helping you, sending you to layer number 2. Now, layer number 2. So in his book, probably only half of layer number 1 goes to layer number 2, right? Or about. In his book, he talks about his software. He talks about Clickfunnels at the end. So after he's explained to you, which is just a beautiful, beautiful strategy, he's got probably, let's say he's got 200 pages in his book. 170 of them are just showing you digital marketing truths and how to actually sell online, human nature and how to appeal to it, and all these really, really neat things like how to build a proper webinar and all of these, really wonderful things. And at the end, the last 30 pages or so is talking about his software, and he just so happens to link his software to every single issue that he introduced while he explained to you in the other 170 pages all of the beauties of digital marketing, right? So that's what he did in layer number 1. He showed you the beauties of digital marketing, and then he also introduced some problems with digital marketing. Like, there's no tool out here that handles this. There's no, let's say, in order to build a proper webinar, you have to do all this and this and this and this and this. And he's like, I'm sorry about that problem. We'll talk about it later. And what he means by that is Clickfunnels. He'll show you Clickfunnels at the end of the book, right? And so now he's got you on Sustainable layer number 1, which you're introduced to the ideas and the concepts. You see the beauty of them, and you also see the problems. Layer number 2 is you are familiar with the problems. You understand the problems, and you see how Clickfunnels is an option to solve them, right? And then the final layer is actually purchasing Clickfunnels, which, out of all this traffic out here, all these dots, only one ends up buying Clickfunnels. But on a month-to-month basis, you're paying $97 a month. So if you are in Clickfunnels and you're paying monthly for Clickfunnels for a year, that is just north of $1,000 a year into the company's pocket. And they spent no money getting you to do that because he wrote a book that helped you understand the basics and then introduced you problems of those basics and then showed you the solution in his own software, right? And so that really is his funnel. So at the top, you've got random traffic from platforms like YouTube or Facebook or whatever, right? And he's got that book. He's actually a handful of books that he's split tested. That's what people aren't realizing. These books are iterations. They're split tests. They're like, he's testing different things on us, right? And so, you've got Expert Secrets and .com secrets and a handful of other books and PDFs and stuff he gives away. And those all do the same thing. You'll notice in almost all of his content, it's introducing concepts and ideas and teaching you and educating you. And as he educates you and as he teaches you, he also introduces problems, right? Which is what I do in my videos now. I show, here's, all these beautiful things, here's all this stuff that you can do, and here's, me, 18-year-old high school dropout kid making a bunch of money online and building his own business, and here's how I did it, here's what I'm learning, here's how you can do it too, but there are some problems, there are some things that you can't do without these resources that I've built for you, and I've built courses and programs and resources, and I coached students and all kinds of awesome stuff like that, right? And then, that's the equivalent of his books right here. So he's got these books, so I'll just say B for books, so you know what these squares are. And then out of these books comes a believer. So I'll just draw like, I don't know, a light bulb, I guess, or something. That works, I guess, a believer, right? They understand, right? They see the beauty of what the internet has to offer, and they also understand the problems, right? And then that gets them to a point where they're familiar with ClickFunnels, and they end up converting because they see that ClickFunnels solves the problems and also reinforces the ideas that they were introduced to from these books. So that is the psychology behind this funnel. Now, there's so many people that will talk about the landing pages and the ad copy and all that, but it's all about psychology, right? If we just break it down in a simple form, like it's so crazy. It's super easy. You give somebody beauty. You give them an idea, right? I'm just going to draw that light bulb again. You give them an idea, and you say, look how simple this thing is, right? And then you also attach that idea to a problem. You say, here's how cool this thing is. Look how amazing this thing is. Here's all these other people that are doing this thing. This thing is beautiful. Everybody loves this thing. You're like the only guy not trying this thing. Also, there's some problems with that thing. And here's the problems. Here's why you're not able to do that thing. Here's why, all these people are doing that thing and you're not able to do that thing. Here's the solution, right? And for him, it's ClickFunnels. Here's why ClickFunnels is not only reinforcing the good idea, but it also solves the problem. So we have this three-way tie between an idea, the problems that come with the idea, and the solution to the idea. And it's just a beautiful thing. And so this is what a lot of businesses don't realize, is that they are totally missing out on this simple principle of introduce an idea, reinforce a belief in somebody, because people already see, again, what's coming about is traffic. They all see the second gold rush, or they've heard of it, or they've heard of internet millionaires or whatever, right? Like they've heard of all this random stuff, like this kid became a millionaire and all these people are buying nice cars, or whatever beliefs that they have. He is meeting them with a book, right, that introduces to them an idea and also introduces problems with those ideas. So he's like, here's this idea, here's all this stuff, here's how to make money on a webinar, here's how to sell anything you want ever, and then here's also the problems with doing that, like, it's really hard to build landing pages, and, these other software tools don't have tracking, and, you need to track in order to, have good conversions, and it's really hard to build landing pages, and as well, there's no communities out there that are talking about it, because when you buy a software, you also get access to the Facebook groups and stuff like that, and mastermind events and stuff, right? And so he's like, here's this idea, here's the problems, here's the solution. So it's this three-way triangle, right? Where we have idea, problem, solution. And that's what people don't realize. That's what people aren't seeing. They see the funnels. They see the landing page steps. They don't see the psychology behind all of it. Because ultimately, sales is human nature. Sales is human psychology. And that's where people are getting it completely wrong. They think it's all about, like CPC and like when you're running a Facebook ad, you have all these metrics, right? People think that it's about focusing on random metrics. It's not. It's about understanding, idea, problem, solution, and connecting them in a three-way tie, and then having, lead magnets that introduce the idea and the problem, and then eventually talk about the solution. So that's really what it's about. So it's not about, focusing on random metrics on your Facebook ads or your Google ads, right? It's not about, trying to lower cost per click or, trying to increase, landing page click-throughs or whatever. It's really just not. And people get so hung up on that stuff and it keeps them from succeeding. It's about this. So if you run a startup, if you run a software company, if you run any sort of a online information product business like the kinds that I help and the kinds that I'm helping grow with my program, Impact Income, then you've got to understand this simple principle of idea, problem, solution, and the three-way tie between the three. So that's the end of the video. I feel like I could ramble on about this for a very, very long time. Sorry for the sort of, it felt like a messy video, but it really wasn't, I don't think. I think it was still a valuable one. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I wanted to throw this together for whoever stumbles across it and whoever sees the value in it. So thanks everybody, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll be releasing plenty more like it soon. See ya.